Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Rich Gold, President and CEO of National Media Spots. Welcome, Rich, and thank you for joining today's Caspio podcast.
You're welcome, Paul. Good to be here.
To start, why don't you introduce yourself and share with everyone a little bit about your background?
Richard Gold, National Media Spots, President and CEO. We formed the company in 2004. Actually, what happened was I had a retailing company with 200 stores. I sold that and I kept the in-house agency. And that became National TV Spots. And from there, as we expanded out into the world, into the United States, we became National Media Spots. And so we've been having a fun 21 years with you guys.
Oh, thank you, Rich, for your 20 years worth of business. It's amazing. So for those that are not familiar with National Media Spots, what does the company do?
So we're a full service media company. We have access to every single TV station, radio station, all of the cable platforms at this point, a lot of the streaming platforms. And basically what we do that's kind of different than anybody else out there is we have our own rate card program sitting in our website right here, right now. So that gives our clients time to look at things on their own or with our consultants that work with them. And basically what we're trying to do is have them, buy at the best possible prices and become successful, stay successful, and get even more successful as we move down the road. With national media, like I said, we're different because one of the main differences really is, like I said, is right now, if you want to know what it costs to be on CNN or ESPN or any broadcast TV station in the country, we have that information right here, right now. We don't have to wait 3 weeks to go chase everybody and then call back the client and kind of chase them all over the place. And we don't do that 3-4 week routine. That's what the company was built on. That a lot of companies, a lot of people looked at us and said, you can't do that because the rates won't be right. They'll change. But we figured out a really good way to do it, and we've never really looked back. And the key to the whole thing is you have to put your client company ahead of yourself. You have to work for them, make them successful, keep them successful, and keep them on the air. And we've done a good job with that, I would say. In addition to that, a client will get access to not just their consultant who works with them, but the entire staff of National Media Spots, including myself.
Yeah.
So if they have questions or issues, whatever, I'm reachable right away. Call my phone number, email me, whatever you want, and we will help them, do a lot of things. We are also full production, so we can produce TV commercials, we can produce videos, we can produce radio ads, written ads, whatever they need, and now streaming and digital ads too. So we're full service, and we'd love to work with your company or more companies.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Rich. So as we've already mentioned, you've been a Caspio customer now for over 2 decades, which is remarkable. Can you remember what the key challenges were that you were looking to solve originally?
Well, originally we were looking for a way to plug a lead into our website.
Yeah.
And in those days, that really kind of didn't exist, okay? Back 25 years ago, it didn't really exist. So our goal was to try to find a company that could basically help us put together a lead that, we advertise on Google or whoever else, but primarily on Google in those days. And, you get a lead, you got to do something with that lead.
Yeah.
So you need a database, and databases weren't, really open and available at that point in time. And you guys, Caspio became, a major player for us, just looking at some of the things, okay? You gave us a real good position in terms of, our relationship has been long-term with Caspio for, a lot of reasons. Excellent prices, great service, good turnaround times on any issues, high-end technology that did not exist in those days, and highly trained personnel led to a great management, to a great management team. And that really helped us. I mean, we're sitting with somewhere around 50 to 60,000 leads in our database, all of which you guys have managed, basically. And as I said before earlier, we're currently building a brand new website. We're going to be launching that momentarily. Brand new landing pages, all new concepts. We've added on a whole batch of new platforms too. In fact, one of them in particular is the only one in the country we're going to have this, is the ability to reach broadcast TV stations, in the 6, 7, 8 time frame in the evenings, where 2.5 Men and Jeopardy, all those syndicated shows are on the air. the cards are already sitting in our website today or a couple of days ago, and we're up to about half the country right now.
Wow.
By the time next month ends up, we'll have pretty much access to every single one of those companies. And it's really cool because our pricing programs are wholesale on the end. So, can someone beat us in a price somewhere, somehow, sometime? I guess they can. But try picking up the phone yourself and calling ESPN and see if they want to talk to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hear you. Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Well, so your application, I suspect it's changed completely since the initial concept and idea to where you are today. How has it changed?
Well, everything, first of all, is quicker.
Yeah.
Okay. So getting information in and getting it where you need it is much quicker. Getting people on the phone or on a website call or a video call. I mean, just across the board, everything is much quicker, much
Yeah.
faster, and more dedicated to what you need when you need it. And you guys have been leaders in that for us. It's really been a great relationship. And like I said, we're currently working with your team to get our new website, plugged in as quick as possible for
Yeah.
our database and move our database to where we need it now. And last couple of weeks we've been working with you guys on this.
Yeah.
But I think if you really looked at everything, it's your technology. Okay, the technology that we need, we were actually going to go out and produce it ourselves, but we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We spoke to a bunch of guys or people who could turn around and, oh, we could do this. And I'm like, looking at it going, no, you can't. Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys you've been there for us. We've had issues, okay, website crashes and databases missing and, stuff like that. And, very little of that, but when it has happened or when crazy stuff goes on, we've always been able to, get support from you guys, and that's big for us. We don't want to be in that business. We want to
Yep.
use that technology that you guys have.
Yeah.
It's worked out great.
Makes complete sense. So, Rich, what does your application do, and who are the end users?
So the end users are any companies or individuals that need media buys. It doesn't matter what the media buy is.
Yep.
It could be TV, radio, digital, streaming. Streaming is new now for the last, I don't know, 2 years, I would say. We've been at the forefront, and a great example is we run a rate card that has multiple platforms on it together, or streaming platforms together, as opposed to just one. And what that gives us is it gives us a bigger demographic. It gives us more people to chase, and that's been a really, really good thing for us to do that, because it puts us in a position, and it puts the client in a position of not having to chase everything all over the place and trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So the basic concept for NMS is help our client become successful and stay successful.
Yeah. Love the philosophy. So, is there any particular feature that has been really beneficial to you that you can talk about?
In terms of the rate cards or in terms of your end?
Yeah, the Caspio application. Yeah.
Well, I mean, our traffic department works with Caspio more than I do personally.
Right. Understood.
But I talk to them all the time. How we doing? What's going on? Give me a break. Tell me what we're going. And I never hear complaints. I never hear problems. We've had plenty of companies out there that, we start to work with and we realize really fast, this isn't going to work. So, I think it's a credit to your technology. The fact that right now I can open up the database today and see whatever I want to see. It's right there all the time. It doesn't go anywhere. I don't have to log into 50 different places. And to me, a lot of it is about the time. The technology is there, but it's about the timing too. If it takes 3 weeks to do something, that doesn't work. And I would say I would recommend any company out there that wants to take a look at what you guys have, and feel free to give me a call, and I'd be glad to talk it over. But we're very happy with what you guys do.
No, thank you so much for that, Rich. I was going to ask you about feedback. How do you gather feedback? I'm always very interested to hear how customers gather feedback from the end users, and then obviously incorporate that into the changes.
Well, we're talking to our customers at every step along the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So we kind of get feedback. We also monitor everything we place for them, and we give them on a weekly basis a sheet basically that tells them where their spots ran, where their cable ran, where everything ran, lock, stock, and barrel, so they can see what time, where it was, what TV show, what time, where did it run, when did it run, that type of stuff. And then when you integrate that with the database, our consultants can turn around and see what's in the notes. Like if I transferred a client's lead from one consultant to another for whatever reason, they're not in the dark. They're in the database looking at what's going on and seeing, okay, this guy, we spoke to this person, this person, this person, they changed, company changed. These are the new people. So we all of our consultants and everybody in this company works off that database, okay? And the key for our customers is very simple, as I said before, is we are completely different than everybody out there. We're not Madison Avenue. We're not trying to be Madison Avenue agencies.
Yeah.
We work with them, but we don't want to be that. It's funny. If you pick up, I said this before, if you pick up the phone and call a Madison Avenue agency or one of the major networks out there, CBS or CNN or whoever it may be,
Yep.
You're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
We are, okay, on a daily basis, talking to all the major companies out there. We buy from them. We deal with them. We know who are bad and who are good and who's going to take a year from Thursday to basically get done what we need done, which is get our client on the air.
Yeah.
Our average turnaround time is very unique also. We can pretty much get someone on the air in 3 to 5 days.
Wow.
And if they need production, it depends on what they need. Do they need Dancing Girls on Broadway? Are they looking for just a voiceover? We have a whole slew of potential people that they could use, on and off as they need. Like I said before, integrating with your technology and having our ability to sell the right product to the right time and the right demographic has really worked out great for us.
Rich, how would you say like the Caspio-powered applications impacted the business in terms of like an ROI? Obviously, is it efficiency? Is it money savings? Is it a combination of both? What would you say?
I'd say it's a combination of both. I mean, in the past, we had, written sheets of junk all over the place. I look on my desk, I don't have anything. So, no, it's changed. It changed the way we did business for the first couple of years, trying to figure out, well, how do we track everything?
Yeah.
We had never had a problem generating leads. Okay. So leads came in. We didn't have a database. We had no place to put everything. So on a piece of paper it went, or on a spreadsheet it went. The spreadsheet would get, circled around to a bunch of people. Not efficient, not a way you want to do business. You guys came along and that changed. That became, like I said, if I click on your logo on my desktop right now, I'm right in there looking around, seeing what's going on. So it allows me, as the owner of the company and our trafficking department, to see what the consultants are doing without bugging them.
Yeah.
Without saying, well, how'd that go? How did this go? We can see the notes right there, how the conversation went, what the client is looking for. And what's really great about that is it allows us, management, to get involved. The consultant might be talking to the client, but I'll turn around and say, put me on this call with you guys next time, because there's a bunch of things I can help you out with that the client wanted to know.
Yeah.
We don't profess to know everything, but we know a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, consultants come back to me and they're like, well, what do you think we should do about this? And, if we didn't have this database, if we weren't running it and using it, you can't do that. Okay. You have to wait for someone to call you. You have to wait for someone to put it in writing. We try to be as quick as we can and do it the right way. And this is the basis of our company, is based within this platform, within you guys, with Caspio's programming and technology.
I think what I love about your story, Rich, and it's really unique in terms of like, even though it's over 20 years worth of a relationship and a partnership, things are continuing to evolve all the time, even now. And I think that's kind of exciting for any customer that's considering working with low code and Caspio. What advice would you give them? Because obviously you're one of our longest term customers.
Well, I would say the advice I would give them is, bring you guys on board, work with you, and come to us too. Come to National Media Spots. We database on one side, media on the other side. It would work for both, for both our companies and for them. A lot of clients come to us, they don't have a clue. Okay. And we always look at it. It's funny. We always look at it from the point of view of, the client tells us something and we feel they're going to jump off a bridge or drive over the cliff. We will tell them that's really not a good idea. Ultimately, the client gets to make final decisions, but 8 out of 10 times the client listens and has a better result. Okay. I mean, we have something called an infrastructure review. And the infrastructure review is just that. We look at their website, their domain name. We look at, their demographics. We look at, who the competitors are. We take a look at what they're trying to do and who they are and what they have. And we give them advice. We tell them, look, this website isn't going to work. Why? It's this long. It needs to be this long. Okay. We try to help them not jump off the crazy cliff. Okay. and make use of everything that's available to them, not just from NMS, but companies that we do business with,
Yeah.
like Caspio. And when a client says to us, "We need a database," that's an easy one. Here's where you're going.
Well,
Um,
well,
and
Rich,
yeah, go ahead.
it's I can't tell you how much we appreciate the partnership. It's like I say, it's over 20 years. I've probably said it quite a few times now, but it's very impressive and it's actually quite remarkable. We appreciate the ongoing support from you as well. And here's to another 20 years moving forward.
Absolutely. It'll probably be, God knows what it'll look like, but it'll be good.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. We'll talk soon.